How are you getting on today, folks? How are you all doing? This kind of summer's day, but at the same time it's roasting hot. At the same time you get soaked in the shower. Anyways, digger, McConnell hedge cutter. Put McConnell hedge cutter on the digger, and it's not really hedge cutting now. Hedge cutting's a big word because I know you're not supposed to be cutting hedges or trees or any of that crack this time of year, but we're just tidying up along a fence. It's just grass and weeds is all we're cutting. So we're not doing anything too bold. I working fairly local to home, so the digger wasn't far away. All I had to do was track that to where its destination is where we're working. And for that, then the trailer wasn't free, so I just stuck it on a pallet on the old bale spike, nice and handy. Haven't used, I don't know what's this feature in a video at all yet, McConnell. But yeah, stick her on anyways. Get it greased up. Still haven't got the wind blocker for this. Badly need to get one. So there might be a bit of wind interference, but shouldn't be too bad, hopefully. Yeah, but won't feel all the old hedge cutting open up again. I think it's 1st September. It is most years anyways. You can cut away again. So a couple of jobs building up, and like that there's always a couple of jobs we don't get done by the 1st of March. So we'll be going back at them, try prioritise what we can, or who's in most will panic. You know, there might be lads fencing and all that sort of crack, or eager to get it done, but just with the bog and everything and slurry going on, we usually don't get it up to date. But get back at it now in September, and yeah, prioritise the jobs we didn't get done last spring, and then whatever, there's a couple of jobs lads kind of on about work, you know, you'll be bailing from the spot, and they might be like, so I've hedge cutting for doing whenever you're free to back in. So nice to be, I know we're kind of a bit more than halfway through the baling now, but as towards the end of the baling, to be other work lining up and kind of move on to something else. That's the way I like doing it anyways. Bit of variety. I don't like to be stuck with the one thing all year round by any means. Anyways, I have my ditching bucket on, get that off. I have a wire here, see how I can cross an electrical fence. Might be able to drop it down and track in across it. Get this on and get it greased up. This hedge cutter, and most of these McConnells or your general just flail head have it's a gear driven hydraulic motor. So you've no third pipe, you've no drain off or leak off or drip pipe, whatever different terms on it. So number one, it's handy, but one thing very important is you need to make sure that your digger is free flow return all the time, because this is your power always. This is the feed here now. This is, I think that's 3/4 inch pipe, and that's an inch. So 3/4. Your smaller one is always the pressure, and bigger one is the return. But any hydraulic motors or any hydraulic line or valve block or anything like that I've ever dealt with anyways, because, and Joe, people might think the opposite, but it's so you have more pressure in this one and lower pressure there. You have more room for the oil to return and reduce the pressure off the motor. That's the idea of that. But it is vital for when it's that you have a free flow return, yeah, because this digger was always just set on free flow return, but then when I got the shears and the hydraulic grab, sometimes I have a double acting or that. But if you're fitting to one of these to the digger the first time, you're not sure if it's double acting or not, but press your pedal backwards first and see is the pipe on the right hand side pressurized. That's what I done there for, not the digger off, to see what mode it is, because in this digger that's a -1, you do it mechanically there. The little valve there at the side of the boom bolt, kind of, it's mounted on the side of the diesel tank. Show you here. I might have shown it briefly in clips before. Now the digger could badly do with a wash and a bit of polish up and that, but this valve here, then the position it's in there now, you just put a spanner on there and turn that, and that just dumps it straight into the hydraulic tank, besides it returning back through the valve block and all that. Because the quicker you can dump the oil to the tank, the less pressure it is on the motor out there and everything, because that digger is putting out, that motor is 130 litres per minute 130 or 132 is it? 126. I told a lie to a fellow the other day because he was setting one of these up on his digger, and I told him it's 132, but it's 126 if you're watching this. Look, it's much the same, but this digger is definitely getting more because it was set to 130 or 120, and I did turn it up more. And main reason for that was to be able to cut away in half revs, because you don't need half of revs. If you have the oil plug going to that, the rest of your movements are fairly gentle. You don't need the digger open to the last, in my opinion anyway. So yeah, so you don't need your second line, but you need, or your third line, but you need to have your return free flow. If you're working that and you let go of the pedal, comes to a sudden stop, you're in trouble. Your seal in the motor won't last no length. That's just a pure sign that your return is being interfered. It's on double acting, or there's something else holding it back. But 9 times out of 10 it's because it's on double acting. And we're using these. Show you in a minute. Just the inch quick release fittings. I think they're I'm not sure if they're Hollenberry ones, them or not. I used to have awful trouble with them, but whatever it is, them ones, they're not Hollenberry, they're some other brand, but I'm getting them off DM Hose Repairs. He was on a video before fixing a pipe on the digger, but they're a great brand, whatever they are. And I don't think the brand is actually on them, but I'm getting loads of mileage out of them, because the other ones, the female ones, were just, if you're 3 or 4 busy days hedge cut, you could be out changing the female fitting, and 120 euros a pop or something like that. Like, you don't want to be changing them too often. But anyways, we're getting on well with them. So start her up, turn her up, and give her a grease. Using black pin and bush grease here. I know it's a no-no. Should be using either red or blue grease, Bayern grease. It's empty to start with, but look, that's what I have with me. That's what's on the grease gun for the digger. And maybe the heavier grease is no harm, because they do work pretty hard. But ideally use red or blue grease for your burdens, and everything else on the digger then use your pin and bush. All you have in these grease nipple here, same down the bottom, your 2 main burdens, and 1 on each end of the roller then. The black pin and bush grease, no harm at all in here in the roller, because I think it's just a bushing that's in it, not a bearing. But yeah, that's my McConnell. It's a 1.2 meter cut, F14H flail. I think it's F4. I think it's H that's on it. I'm sure it is. F14. That's the heavier end of them. I don't know, is that a multi-cut or heavy cut? There's different names on them, but I've got outrights knocked out of that, to be fair. So Rusty's held there now, hasn't done a job in a long time, but ideal for this. There's no need for the, well, if I was working around and I had the flail tech with me, that's what I'd be using here, but that's ideal for this. It's only grass we're cutting really, and bits of weeds, so it's nice and light and easier to get under the wire than the flail tech as well. So has its jobs. Threatening selling it for a while, but I think I'm going to hold on to it. Has its jobs, as I said. Anyways, get set up here and we'll get cutting. away here, going grand. Coming out pretty good. Yeah, it's very straightforward going this. Just grass and old weeds, so it's ideal work for the McConnell. It's nice and light, nice and nimble for this kind of work, and there's spots where I'll be working under wire there in a bit, so it just reaches in under it nice and easy. There's a couple of stones, smaller stones and that, but nothing that shouldn't do any damage, nothing that came on yet anyway. Try to get down into the side of the drain as well a bit, just while we're here. As I said, this farmer's just wants this done because he is putting a fence along it, stock roof fence, sheep wire, and I see rolls of sheep wire, and more than likely electric or barbed wire as well with it. So yeah, going nice and handy. If I had the flail tech on with me, as I said, doing the likes of this work, I would use it for it. But there's a roller on this, as you can probably see. You see me greasing it. Roller is very handy for if I have the roller let down a bit, so you just run along the top of the ground, pretty handy, and it in one sense follows the ground, helps follow the ground a bit better. But lads now using these hedge cutters for heavier work might have the roller taken off them. Just if you're cutting heavier stuff, the roller might be inclined to push the stuff away or stop it getting into the head. Where the roller's gone, there's no obstacles in the way, and she will just mulch away pretty well. But I never bothered taking it off. Maybe if I had taken it off when I got it first, it might have never went back on. But this kind of light work now, it is ideal. It's been about 6 weeks since I've done a day in the digger, since we finished the bog. I done bits in this digger, a couple hours here and there, but since I've done a proper day's work, it's been a while. Nice to get back into it again. My aircon is not working in this digger, but it's very humid and clammy, but it's grand. And also, lads, when you're hedge cutting, leave your front windscreen closed. Do not open it, because you'll be surprised what will be thrown at it. Possibly should have the shield on the windscreen. I have a mesh shield. Well, I lost it. What probably happened is I was doing a job flailing and doing digger work there as well, digging or some sort, and probably took it off and left it there, but I cannot find it, so I think I'll have to make one or get a new one made, or buy a new one or whatever. But for this kind of work, it's not really essential. And like that, you could have the shield on it and then throw a bit of wire and go through it anyways. Wire is the main thing that will break the windscreen. But to be fair, the McConnell, the way it's covered in and that, it throws very little at the digger. So yeah, keep tipping away here anyway. Keep tipping away, and a couple hours to do a lot of it. So there we have it. Job done. Nice handy job in. Nothing major to report. Wire down there. I didn't actually catch the wire now. I had it pulled out and I just left it back out of the way again. I should have probably rolled it up, but not saying that I haven't caught wire in my experience mulching or cutting hedges or doing what I'm doing here. Many's the time, and sometimes it'd be a ball of old wire left in the ditch. I have hit owl horse plows. I hit a hay turner. I got a shaft off an old horse cart. The axle shaft caught on it before. Just lucky, it just went in, bang, jammed it solid. Put a little dent in the inside of the thing, but nothing major. Didn't bend the rotor or anything. But when you're cutting hedges, you will come on anything, and even cutting around wire, sometimes if you're cutting along, if you're as careful as you could be, and you could be just within that of being finished, and next thing you're caught. But anyways, the joys. To be fair, 9 times out of 10, I do move the wire. I do pop the wire out, tell the farmer to do it, or else pop it out. Along here, it's just one strand of electric. That wire, I took it off, opened it, and pulled it back. I might actually roll it up before it goes, so it's not just thrown in the grass there. And wrap it around the post. But that's it for this video. I'll actually show you here what I mean about the flails, about it free flowing. So it's stopped there now, it's started up. I would let go there now, and it's just coming to a nice gradual end. A neighbour had this on his digger before. It was a -6, and we weren't sure of the settings. I wasn't sure at the time, and it wasn't free flow return, and it did pop the seal on the motor, but it would stop within 3 or 4 seconds of letting go of the pedal, or less. But I should have decked it, to be fair. Should have copped onto it that it wasn't dumping the oil back, but he was cutting away for hours. Then eventually the seal gave way, but I pulled out the motor, popped in a new seal. But yeah, very handy tool for lighter. It's a hedge cutter, not a mulcher at the end of the day. The only thing I found, I used to be too hard before we bought the flail tech mulcher, and it'd be breaking the flails off. It'd break them at the bolt. The flail itself wouldn't break usually, and you would if you hit a big stone or something solid like that, but the flail would turn in, hit the shaft, and then just cutting real heavy stuff, like, and I mean 60 mil diameter, 7 up to 100 mil, I'd say. Way too big for it, like. But I'd be in jobs and I'd take my time, and you know what, it actually would do it, but long term it's too hard. And so I was popping off flails, break the bolts. Usually you'd see the flail on the ground, you pick it up, put in a new bolt, and away you go, bolt and bushing. But yeah, lovely tool for lighter hedges we've cut every couple of years, trimming grass like what I'm doing here now along verge or the likes of that. Very good tool. But anyways, that's it. Probably a while again now before you see any hedge cutting videos around like that. September, October time when we get into it, and we'll have the old flail tech back on as well and tear into them. But anyways, that's it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and we shall catch you on the next one. Good luck.